Swindon is supposed to have a free Wi-Fi system. So far, it's cost the council hundreds of thousands of pounds, and hardly anyone can use it. In November of 2009, the rollout was announced, and a month later, the trial area was announced. It was Highworth. The original target of having the whole borough covered by April 2009 has come and gone. In August, the man behind the scheme, Ricky Hunt from Digital City, gave me the latest.
10 months late, and I know, it's terrible. It is. It's really frustrating for us. But that's life, and that's business, when these things happen. I've got to, as a businessman, work my way around them and push us through it. Highworth's 90% done. The only date I'll give anybody is by the end of September, I will be out of Highworth and giving them a birthday party. It'll be finished, and they can all have it for free for a while.
Ricky Hunt joins me in the studio now. Thanks for coming in, Ricky.
Yeah, no problem.
So, did you have a party?
In Highworth, we're done to a point where we're happy now. It'll improve because we have our furniture goes on, our boxes rather go on street furniture, on the lampposts and in particular. And we have areas where we can't get on lampposts because they're concrete. And our boxes are perceived to breach the integrity of concrete because they weigh a kilo and a half. It's not heavy, but it's perceived as, in some areas, you can't put the box on it. So we're working with the council who have because these lampposts are very old, you can imagine, who have a replacement programme of lampposts. And so it'll evolve and evolve and evolve.
So do you regret telling me
yeah.
that it was all going to be done by the end of September in the Highworth?
Party anyway.
You see, this is the problem I have with you.
Yeah.
Is you were a really, really nice fella. But the facts are, you haven't met a single deadline on this.
No, well, we haven't actually. No, you're quite right. But, that's life. And it's dead easy now to give up.
See, but that's life. This is business.
Absolutely. Well,
this is £400,000 of the council's money.
Yeah, but hang on. But with all the people that are on it, we've got over now 5,000 people registered to use the network. And
so is it making money?
No, because we've been giving it away for free, as you know, while we're building out. So that we've got 450 people, unique people, using it during August, September, which are generally quiet months. Before that, it was about 600 a month. And they're on it for about 45 minutes each time. They're on it for about 7-8 hours a month. So there's a lot of people using it and downloading a lot of stuff. So no, highly valuable project and a lot more to come.
Now, you're saying that when you started putting it on, there was problems with lampposts and stuff. Doesn't that sound like poor research on your part, though?
Yeah, in part, it's quite right that when we first signed the deal, we were going to spend 2 or 3 months just in Highworth doing all the surveys. Unfortunately, things ran away with us, and once the story had leaked, it was get on with it, and we got caught out. Yeah, no question. Are the council going to get their money back? I'm still confident that there's a long-term deal in here. It's very clearly a different shape, and different opportunities come up day by day, as do different challenges.
Shouldn't they get their money back now, since you've missed all the deadlines?
I tell you what, I wish I could give them it back now.
Do you? Are you sorry you got involved in it?
No, not actually. No, I'm not. The council are fabulous. I mean, they have been fabulous to me, I have to tell you. What I'm disappointed about is all the heat around the loan. Having a council as a partner is a great thing to do because they give me integrity with other councils. So that's got to be very, very good. And of course, as I said, they've been very supportive in helping me get the network up. They're as frustrated as many other people are at the fact that I've not been able to achieve what we wanted to.
So what is the timescale for the payback of the money?
Yeah, well, the timescale at the moment is we're still planning. It's the end of year 2. The money's got to be paid back to the council.
So we must be close to that now, aren't we?
No, end of year 1. Give me a break.
All right.
End of year 2, the money will be paid back, and
it will be paid back.
I'm still confident that we can pull this off. Still confident we can pull it off.
There are 22 council wards in Swindon. You were supposed to have them all wired up by now.
Yeah.
You've got one done. Are we going to have to wait 22 years at this pace to get the whole town done?
That's out of order.
When's it going to be all done?
Hopefully not 22 years. That'll be past me. It'll be
at
done
this pace, it's going to be 22 years.
Yeah. It will be as quick as I can get it up, And I think one of the things I've learnt on putting networks up, and as you know, I'm relying on my technical partners who are good, but one of the things I've learnt is I'm over-optimistic. Even they've been telling me that.
So be optimistic. When will it be done?
If I was optimistic, it'll be finished this time next year.
5th of October 2011, we'll all have Wi-Fi.
And I'm not coming back again until then.
This programme on Swindon's BBC Wiltshire has won a prestigious award. Graham Mack has been given the BBC's Local Radio Award for Presenter of the Year. His opposition included former TV presenter Anne Diamond. Here's the winning announcement.
And the judges said, this broadcaster draws your ear to the radio with his distinctive style. The Programme Presenter Award goes to Graham Mack of BBC Wiltshire.
A lot of people, when they get a bad cold, say they've got the flu. Well, if you've ever actually had influenza, you'll know how bad the real thing is. And that's why I went and had a flu jab. I went to Asda, got mine for £8. Shireen helped me through the process.
How are you with needles?
Not good, I'm scared of them.
Oh.
I'm a baby.
This one is not really, it's very short and thin. You're not going to feel it at all.
Okay.
As long as you don't look. Okay.
As long as I don't look?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I won't look.
If you turn, yeah. Okay.
You're right, I didn't feel a thing.
Because I haven't done it.
Oh.
Simon Hughes is the deputy leader of the Liberal Democrats. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Graham.
The Lib Dems poll ratings hitting the lowest for 14 years. Why are you so unpopular?
Well, the reason it's been difficult is because, firstly, we took a controversial decision that we had to have a new regime for university tuition fees. We weren't a majority government, so we couldn't implement our own policy. We had to negotiate one, and we didn't get the one we wanted. That gave us grief. And then we've had to implement a significant reduction in public expenditure to deal with the deficit, which means we're paying 120 million quid every day just in paying the interest on our debts. And that's not easy to deliver. But I think people are now realising that we are determined to have a fairer Britain. We are determined to go on taking the burden from the people at the bottom end, not just in Wiltshire but everywhere else. That's why we've taken nearly 1 million people out of tax already. That's why we have restored pensions to earnings, a link broken by Mrs Thatcher, never restored by Labour. And that's why we are expecting people who are better off to pay more. We want to keep the 50p tax rate for the few people who are very well off.
But 20 high-profile economists have urged the government to drop the 50p tax rate. They say it's doing lasting damage to the UK economy. Why do you want to keep it?
Well, I don't accept that, and we don't accept that.
Well, the Institute for Fiscal Studies says the 50% tax rate is costing the Treasury up to £500 million a year because high earners are sheltering their money abroad.
Well, there's a review going on at the moment, commissioned by the Chancellor of the Exchequer, into the effect of the 50p tax rate. We await the outcome of that review. If it shows that it's an inefficient economic mechanism, then we will look at other things. Vince Cable has talked about, and I support the idea that both for those who are non-domiciled in the UK, there ought to be a mansion tax. They have houses here, they pay nothing on them above anybody else from a normal family home, and we may need to look at alternative ways so we tax the wealth that is static and visible rather than taxing income. But we do need to make sure we have a fair tax system. We do need to make sure the people at the bottom end pay less, and the concentration of the government at the moment is to help pull us out of the difficult recession, not of this government's making, by putting more into the pockets of people with lower incomes, making sure they have more of their money to spend, making sure their lives aren't as difficult, to help them meet the demands of energy prices and the rest. And we're determined to go on doing that.
These sound like socialist policies.
It's a fairer Britain, which is...
It's certainly a lot further to the left than the Tories who you got in bed with.
Yeah, well, look, we got into bed with the Tories because no party got a majority. The country was in dire economic straits. We, in the national interest, took a decision to work with the party which got the largest number of seats and votes, and we did a deal for 5 years, and I'm sure that was the right thing to do.
You compromised your principles in return for power.
No, it's... if you're in power on your own, you can do what you want to do on your own. But if you have to enter into a coalition, you can't get your own way. Two people in a marriage, don't each of them get their own way all the time. You have to understand that there is a benefit in working together. Well, that's what we decided in the public interest. And
Simon Hughes, we're running out of time, but I quickly want to get on to one last thing that you're going to discuss today, which is the phone hacking. Are you still going to sue Rupert Murdoch's News International over the phone hacking?
I have, like other people who were the victims, launched proceedings. The issue now is to make sure that, given there's a huge public consensus that we need to try to sort this out for once and for all, that we don't just concentrate on Murdoch and the Murdoch empire, that we deal with the other people whose organisations, the other media companies whose organisations regularly had people committing offences, that they get caught and dealt with, and then that we get a proper independent regulatory authority for the press that makes sure that this sort of looking after yourself and not worrying about the rules culture is ended forever, and we're determined to change that.
Simon Hughes, we're out of time. Deputy Leader of the Liberal Democrats. Thanks for your time this morning. Kate Mundy with that report, and Kate made me laugh the other day. You see, Kate Mundy was out doing an outside broadcast where they were crossing to Kate from time to time for her to be live on BBC Wiltshire. Now, when you do that kind of thing, you have headphones on, and you get messages in your ear. And our station engineer, Ian Dyer, was giving her a message, and she's talking away, and she's getting this message. Kate, you're not hot. Kate, you're not hot. Now, what he was saying in BBC Radio engineer speak, when you're not hot, it means your microphone isn't on. Your microphone's not hot. You're not hot. But can you imagine trying to concentrate when someone's in your ear going, you're not hot? Yesterday, I spoke to former MP Tony Benn. I started by asking him what his secret was to a long, happy life in old age.
Depends on a lot of things. First of all, good health. Health is of enormous importance. Then, of course, you've got to have an income, decent income when you're at work and a decent pension when you retire. And then you've got the need for care because, obviously, as more people live to a greater age, they will need care and help. And the idea of a national care service, like the National Health Service, is one that has occurred to me in the past. And all of those things are available, then I don't see any reason why people shouldn't carry on doing such work as they want to do for as long as they want to.
When you were a younger man, was there someone from an older generation who inspired you?
Well, my father was really the same age as a grandfather would be. I think he was 50-odd when I was born, so I have always had the experience of an older man at home. And then my mother was a very loving woman. She was a bit younger than he was. And I do think that encouragement is the key to everything. When you encourage somebody, they walk 10 feet tall and do 10 times better. And I'm not in favour of all the league tables where you say a lot of people have failed and then you've got a few people who succeeded who wave at you from the platform. I think everyone is a genius, and education should bring the genius out in everyone.
You ever going to stop working, Tony?
Well, not really, no. I mean, if I were incapacitated, I suppose I would be stuck in bed. I can't say I'm very worried about death. My grandmother, a Scots lady, when she was very old and ill, and I was a little boy of 8, I sat by her bed and was afraid she was going to die. And she sat up and she said something I've never forgotten. She said, "The great thing about your last journey is you don't have to pack." and somehow that's just about sums it up.
Well, there are a lot of changes afoot, a lot announced this week in the work and pension system. State pension age is going to be raised. The default retirement age looks set to be abolished next year. As a pensioner yourself, is this going to help? People come up with schemes and advocate them, and in the end, everything comes out in the wash. But the idea of the abolition of the retirement age I find inconceivable, though a lot of people do like carrying on work and should be encouraged if they want to do so. And as to changes in the benefit system, well, we'll wait and see. It may be that's just a way of cutting income. I'm not sure it's really about what it's said to be about. Tony Benn, thanks for talking to me this morning. I hope you have continued good health. Thank you very much, and the same to you and your listeners.